Good morning, this is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 239 of A Course in Miracles, the In Translation, where we use female words. This would be August 27th if you're starting at the new year. The alternate to dreams of fear. What is a sense of sickness but a sense of limitation, of a splitting off and separating from, a gap that is perceived between you and your sister and what is now seen as health? And so the good is seen to be outside, the evil in, and thus is sickness separating off the self from good and keeping evil in. God is the alternate to dreams of fear. Who shares in them can never share in her, but who withdraws her mind from sharing them is sharing her. There is no other choice. Except you share it, nothing can exist. And you exist because God shared her will with you, that her creation might create. It is the sharing of the evil dreams of hate and malice, bitterness and death, of sin and suffering, and pain and loss that makes them real. Unshared, they are perceived as meaningless. The fear is gone from them because you did not give them your support. Where fear has gone, there love must come, because there are but these alternatives. Where one appears, the other disappears. And which you share becomes the only one you have. You have the one that you accept because it is the only one you wish to have. You share no evil dreams if you forgive the dreamer, and perceive that she is not the dream she made. And so she cannot be a part of yours, from which you both are free. Forgiveness separates the dreamer from the evil dream, and thus releases her. Remember, if you share an evil dream, you will believe you are the dream you share. And fearing it, you will not want to know your own identity because you think that it is fearful. And you will deny yourself and walk upon an alien ground which your Creator did not make and where you seem to be a something you are not. You will make war upon yourself, which seems to be your enemy, and will attack your sister as a part of what you hate. There is no compromise. You are yourself or an illusion. What can be between illusion and truth? A middle ground where you can be a thing that is not you must be a dream and cannot be the truth. You have conceived a little gap between illusions and the truth, to be the place where all your safety lies, and where yourself is safely hidden by what you have made. Here is a world established that is sick, and this the world the body's eyes perceive. Here are the sounds it hears, the voices that its ears were made to hear. Yet sights and sounds the body can perceive are meaningless. It cannot see nor hear. It does not know what seeing is, what listening is for. It is as little able to perceive as it can judge or understand or know. Its eyes are blind, its ears are deaf. It cannot think, and so it cannot have effects. What is there God created to be sick? And what that she created not can be? Let not your eyes behold a dream, your ears bear witness to illusion. They were made to look upon a world that is not there, to hear the voices that can make no sound. Yet are there other sounds and other sights that can be seen and heard and understood. For eyes and ears are senses without sense, and what they see and hear they but report. It is not they that hear and see, but you, who put together every jagged piece, each senseless scrap and shred of evidence, and make a witness to the world you want. Let not the body's ears and eyes perceive these countless fragments seen within the gap that you imagined, and let them persuade their maker her imaginings are real. Creation proves reality because it shares the function all creation shares. It is not made of little bits of glass, a piece of wood, a thread or two, perhaps, all put together to attest its truth. Reality does not depend on this. There is no gap that separates the truth from dreams and from illusions. Truth has left no room for them in any place or time, for it fills every place and every time, and makes them wholly indivisible. You who believe there is a little gap between you and your sister, do not see that it is here you are as prisoners in a world perceived to be existing here. The world you see does not exist, because the place where you perceive it is not real. The gap is carefully concealed in fog, and misty pictures rise to cover it with vague, uncertain forms and changing shapes, forever unsubstantial and unsure. Yet in the gap is nothing, and there are no awesome secrets and no darkened tombs where terror rises from the bones of death. Look at the little gap, and you behold the innocence and emptiness of sin that you will see within yourself when you have lost the fear of recognizing love. It has not been accepted by the larger group of science at this point, but it was explained to me an alternate way of looking at what we think of as reality, where there is a superfluid without friction, the ether, that is streaming impossibly fast, again without friction, and that all that we think of as particles of matter are vortices, little whirlpools, possibly even infinitesimally small singularities or black holes that create the illusion of physical matter. And we've already talked about how far apart those particles are from each other, how much is just empty space, and the particles are so much nothing compared to that space. And I like to reflect on this and consider that the reality is the ether, which is all uniform. It is all the same. What seems to be matters is just little eddies and swirls, infinitesimally small, in the ether. The reason today's text reading made me think of this idea of reality being ether and what we think of as physical matter just being these little eddies and whirlpools in the ether that are super far apart from each other. The reason I thought of that is it says in the text reading that the truth has no gaps. It fills all what we think of as gaps in space and time and makes them seamless and one. And I couldn't help but think of that ether. It bids us look into the gap and perceive only the innocence that is there and the emptiness of sin. And it makes me think of the ancient Eastern traditions that speak of reality being emptiness. And that emptiness perhaps is that ether. Or rather, the ether is that emptiness. These are just things I like to think of as I'm studying A Course in Miracles and thinking about what it says when it says that everything that we think is real is not, and we think of it as being solid and irresistible, but to spirit it is easily changeable, as easy as passing your hand through the mist. As with yesterday's text reading, we have this concept of joining with our sisters in the illusion, and how it is that consensus between us and our seeming other selves that strengthens the illusion. We have to take our ball and go home. We have to refuse to play along. We have to refuse to offer our faith to the reality of the drama and the trauma. And we do it with compassion, not with coldness. We do it understanding that the illusion of the experience is real indeed for our sister, and we wish to see them free of it. And we do it by holding in our mind their glory and their innocence, by not blaming them, by not feeling not love towards them. I use the phrase not love because it includes all the complicated emotions that we feel towards things that are not love. Pure love is happiness and joy. And A Course in Miracles is straight with us from the beginning that pretty much everything we think is not love. And we got to let it go. And it is disciplining us to continually offer up our thoughts, to withdraw our faith from our own thoughts, and be willing to let them be replaced by divine love. In today's text reading, we once again have the body described as something that seems to hear and see, but doesn't actually. And I can't help but be reminded, as AI becomes more and more a thing in our world, of the idea of a very sophisticated piece of software that responds with great seeming intelligence to stimulation, to input, but doesn't actually perceive or process anything or have a sense of self-awareness. And the fact that it doesn't comes out in interesting ways. And I don't know, maybe someday we will discover that these AI pieces of coding and software do have a sort of self-awareness, but at least thus far it does not appear to be the case. And it makes me think of the body as being a sort of AI without its own consciousness. The only consciousness it has is that which we, our true selves, provide it. After reviewing What is Salvation, which is in the show notes, we go on to Lesson 239, The Glory of My Mother is My Own. Let not the truth about ourselves today be hidden by a false humility. Let us instead be thankful for the gifts our mother gave us. Can we see in those with whom she shares her glory any trace of sin and guilt? And can it be that we are not among them when she loves her child forever and with perfect constancy, knowing she is as she created her? We thank you, Mother, for the light that shines forever in us, and we honor it because you share it with us. We are one, united in this light and one with you, at peace with all creation and ourselves. And that is our lesson. Happy practicing.